Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today we're going to talk about a little subject called CME. Now, the reason why is because I'm sure all over social media it's making its rounds, and so I figured we'd go ahead and we'd do a little bit of a talk about it. I'd throw my 2 cents and opinions around, and you take it with a grain of salt. But I'm going to go ahead and do a video on it anyway. I've been asked a few questions, and I figured it's a topic that I should at least give a little bit of attention to. Now, in case you are unaware, there was a CME that happened, and this video is coming out Saturday morning. And so Europe got round one late last night. Round two and round three should be hitting North America sometime today. And then round four should end in Europe as well. Now, if I do this right, because for most of you that know me, am not the technical guru. I am the low budget, fun things. So let's see if I can do this correctly. Now, in case you are wondering what in the world all of this is, so right here is a CME is basically an EMP, but more of a nature sort of way. So an EMP is an electromagnetic interference, which is caused by an EMP. That can be a disruption in communications and damage different electrical equipment. Now, that right there is what an EMP is. Now let's see if I can switch this over, if it switches on this screen, and it does not. So let me take and re-pop up the one screen that I want to do. And let's see. There we go. This one right here. So let's go over to our friends over on Wikipedia. Yeah, I know, do not type furiously, where I'm just pulling up Wikipedia because a lot of people know what that is. So if you look right here on CMEs, this will go through and do what it is. Basically, it is an ejection from the sun. And when the sun decides to do this, I will scroll up just a little bit here so that way we can get to an actual description. So it is a significant ejection of a magnetic field accompanying plasma mass from the sun's corona into the heliosphere. I know I'm getting very technical into the space jargon, aren't I? So CMEs are often associated with solar flares and other forms of solar activity, but broadly accepted and understanding of these relationships have not been established. So keep that right there in mind. Theoretical understandings. So this is still semi-relatively arguable, if you will. There's a lot of studying and different things that need to go on about this. If you go into a lot, the very, very first one. So let me see if I can take and pull up that one, which is the one that will hopefully answer this question. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Let's see. So if I can pull up the correct one, I should have practiced this a lot sooner. So that way, this will go a lot better into a video. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it is. I believe it is that one. Yes. Okay. So right there on the top, 1859, the coveted Carrington event. Now, this one is basically, arguably, the worst CME. And so this was the 1859 first documented event of a solar flare impacting Earth. It occurred September 1st and named after Richard Carrington. He was a solar astronomer who witnessed this through his own private um, laboratory, if you will, or his own observatory. So when this comes through, this one was one of the basically the worst ones. This went through and fried a bunch of different communications. If you look right here, so it interrupted global telegraphs communications, even shocking some of the operators, sparking fires when there was some discharges. There's a bunch of things that kind of happened. Yes, I know technology has changed. We're using different lines and we have different things, but it does not mean that it cannot be bad. we could get a worse solar flare coming towards us. We don't know on what new technologies do, if it's more susceptible, if it's safer, but these happen all the time. So if you look right here, 1972 solar flare versus AT&T, 1989 right here from a geomagnetic storm. Keep going down. 2000, the Bastille Day event. Keep going. 2003, the haunting Halloween storms. 2006, X-ray sun flare for Christmas. 2022, a very expensive storm. Now you can go right here. This is space.com, and they go through and tell you about each one of these events that happened, and the different things that occurred during it. And so if you want to do more research, you are more than welcome to. But that gives you a little bit of an idea. Now, let me share one more of it. So that way, maybe I can go through and answer maybe one little last question. So, has there ever been an EMP? Well, technically, no. There has never been an EMP. Now, let me take and share this screen right here. So I typed it straight in. Has there ever been an EMP used? No documented instances has an EMP weapon been used in a conflict. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. Now, I know there's probably somebody right now typing, going, well, what about the ones that are undocumented? Okay, I get it. If we don't know about it, then it could have happened or it could not have happened. We're not entirely sure now, are we? But I did want to go through and do at least this for the people that is going to type furiously. Give me one more second here. So, Atlas 1. What is Atlas 1? Well, if you look right here, this is a unique electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, generation. So, this is a device that they built, or they're calling it a testing apparatus, built between 72 and 80 during the Cold War. And this was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the purpose of this generator was designed to test if they could harden strategic aircraft systems against an EMP from nuclear warfare, because it was the Cold War era. So, this is, again, Wikipedia. I know Wikipedia is the devil and all that fun stuff, but bear with me. Okay, so we've got all the learning instances out of the way. So at least we have an idea of what we're talking about. So, what is this one going to do? I don't know. Could it do something? Yeah, it could. Is this one really, really strong? It's not yet, from what I can tell. Now, I'm no astrophysicist or anything along those lines, but it's history. History will repeat itself, and so when something like that happens, it definitely can happen again. The chances of something happen that's never happened, there's a number, there's just statistic behind it, but something happening and something happening again, it's a little bit higher. So, will this happen in our lifetime? Again, I have no idea. Could it? Yeah, it definitely could. Do we know what's going to happen? No, not really. Technology has changed, the way that we route things, the types of materials that we use. It's all different than things back then. Now, yeah, we went through and we looked. There was an event that happened in 2022. It was not that long ago. Do you remember what happened? Some of those events, 89, 2006, most of you, if not all of you, were alive during that period of time. We're still here, right? My computer still works. My phone still works. Everything seems to be okay. It's not like the world ended. Could a CME happen and take down the power grid? Yeah, it very well could. Now, here goes the big one that is going to be controversial. If somebody was to set off an EMP, okay, so this is a non-nuclear electromagnetic pulse. So the EMP is from a nuclear device. So a non-nuclear would be an EMP sort of device. If somebody was to set that off, what would happen? Well, it's all speculation. We built that machine way back into the Cold War days, so that way we could test certain things. There, as we have done, no documented cases, okay, So there technically has not been a real world event. So we don't know. It's all speculation. So all of anybody that's going to go out there and tell you that a certain thing or a certain device or a certain whatever is 1,000% guaranteed to protect something from an EMP, in my opinion, there's nothing to back it up. Okay. Uh, could it work? Yeah, it could. Could it fail? It could fail. Now, I know that there's people out there that have the notion that it's at 50-50. I want to say it's pinball, and then I think there was some others that have said it to where if you buy something that claims that they can protect it, you bought it and it's either going to work or not work. You have a 50-50 chance. If you don't buy something, then if it's going to fry it, it's going to fry it. It's 100%, you're going to lose. So you take it for what it is on if you are going to buy a product or not. You're wagering a 50-50 versus if it's going to fry it and you do nothing, then yeah, you lost all of your stuff. So, and there's much more to go into it. I've gone down this thing because I love to debate. What's the purposes of protecting your electronics? If it fries everything, then you're not going to connect to the internet. You're not making a phone call. Who are you going to talk with if you're the only one that protected your stuff, or you're the only one that bought the working thing to protect your stuff and everybody else's stuff is fried? I've been all over that. I've had those discussions. That is a personal choice for you to make. I'm not going to tell you don't do it. I'm not going to tell you to do it. You're going to have to do the research and figure out what you want to do. So to get back on track, this is something that I think that it is a topic that needs a little bit more on the discussion, but I think it needs to be a little bit more open-ended. I think it needs to be done by people that is not trying to push products. And I think it also needs to be done with the truth that there is no guarantee until that inevitable day when somebody actually does set off an EMP. The world will never actually know. We're doing small scale tests. Now, I know they were testing an airplane and an airplane's not small. I get it. But in the grand scheme of things, that is a small scale test. Okay. We don't know what it's going to do. Uh, Weather related, if it's set off at a certain altitude, will strong winds, if somebody's getting a storm or something, will it shield it? Is concrete, how much concrete does it block it any? Does it fry everything, or does it only fry the connections, the diodes, the relays, things like that? If you just spend a few dollars and put in some new fuses, relays, and diodes and things like that, is everything okay? Or does it fry the circuitry? Does it send a lot going through wiring and the wiring catches fire like it did back then? We don't know. Okay. That right there, that's a fact. That's one that I will go down swinging on, that there has not been a real world thing to compare it to say 100% this is what's going to happen. uh, Hopefully hopefully somebody will look at that and scratch their noggin and start to dig into that and discover that for themselves. uh, this video is not going to be one to scare you and say that the world is susceptible to this, and so you have to go out and buy this product, you have to do this, you have to do that. That is for you. If you want to do the research and decide that that is some step that you want to take, then I fully support it. If you look at it and you say, no, my money is better invested in more food and water and things like that, I fully support it. As long as you are making an educated decision that you feel is in the best interest of you and your family and loved ones, then it is a good decision. So when something like this happens, because I'm not going to say if, uh, inevitably it's out there, it's going to be used. So when this happens, hopefully it'll be one of them things that maybe somebody will get the bright idea that they'll set up some small little city and all that infrastructure and every other thing on some tiny little island, and they'll do some small little scale like that, and they'll actually see what happens. But there's a bunch of rabbit holes that you can go down. Is it going to do anything to electronic devices that are medical, things like pacemakers and things like that? Is it going to actually do anything to aviation? Is it going to be directed straight down, or is it going to go up? Is it going to fry things that are in space, like satellites and things like that? There's a lot you can go through into this conversation until you're blue in the face and your eyeballs blur from reading. This is a pretty deep rabbit hole. Hopefully this video got you a little bit thinking. Hopefully you'll look at some of them websites, maybe go investigate a little bit for yourself. Maybe if you don't even know what I'm talking about, you'll get a little bit of an interest, and maybe you'll spend some time looking into what a CME is. Should I be worried about it? What is an EMP? Should I worry about that? There's it's definitely something, in my opinion, you should at least consider. I think that floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, wildfires, job loss, things like that is something that you should probably prep for first. Those are a lot more likely to happen than a CME or a EMP, but that are not out of the realm of possibility. Uh, I really think that the time is coming closer. Will it happen in my lifetime? I'm not entirely sure. Will it happen soon-ish, within the next 100 years? Probably, probably. And there's a decent chance in my lifetime, or at least little Rural's lifetime, that one, if not both of these may end up happening. So we'll just have to sit back and wait and see what actually goes down. Again, if it's something you're interested in, let me know down in the comments. Maybe we'll do a CME revisit, and we'll dive deeper into this topic. If I get no interest, then this will be the only video, and we'll just lay it to rest. So thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with me. If you made it this far in the video, guess what? You rock. I appreciate you. I hope that you guys have an amazing day, and a blessed day at that. And so I'm going to tell you to stay tuned, because there's definitely more information to come. And with that, I'm going to say, please, above all else, remember to remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.